Good evening and welcome to our Kreutz Creek Library information session. We're happy that you could join us this evening for tonight's updates. My name is Ellen Helfrick and I'm the Director of Library Relations for York County Libraries. I'm your moderator tonight. If you have any questions this evening, if you look at the ribbon at the bottom of your screen and click on Q&A, you can put them in there and I will address them at the end of our session when we have our question and answer time. If you think of something afterwards that you intended to ask, but you missed your chance, go to www.yorklibraries.org and put it in our contact us spot and someone will get back to you. So tonight's event is being recorded. You get to watch it later, share it with the link with your friends once it's posted, and we hope you'll visit it and enjoy it often. So here with us tonight to talk about the Kreutz Creek Library is Robert Lambert, with the president of York County Libraries, and Susan Nenstiel, who is the branch manager of the Kreutz Creek Library. Also on standby for questions at the end, should we need them, is Zach Zimmerman, our York County Libraries facility director, and our Kinsley representative, Ben Zimmerman. So they'll be available at the end of our session when we do those Q&A. I'd like to honor my introduction here now with Robert Lambert, who is president of York County Libraries. Take it away, Robert.
Thank you, Ellen. Good evening, everyone. As Ellen said, my name is Robert Lambert. I'm president of York County Libraries. I want to welcome you to our first virtual information session as we share with you the latest updates and the exciting changes that are coming to the new Kreutz Creek Library. Before I begin, I want to thank all the members of our awesome boards of directors, our amazing in-house professionals, and our inspiring donors. I also want to thank the Helena Township Board of Supervisors for their support. I want to thank the friends of the Kreutz Creek Library, past and present, for their energy, passion, and dedication to the Kreutz Creek Library. And I want to thank all of you for joining us this evening. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for believing in the power of libraries to transform lives and build community. When I began my tenure as president of York County Libraries, I pledged to conduct a listening tour of all 13 libraries. I met with directors, frontline staff, visitors, and library friends. We listened, we examined, and we assess the entire conditions of our libraries. The condition and the extraordinary use of the Kreutz Creek Library rose to the forefront of just about every conversation I had with Helena Township residents. And the question that I was asked the most was, when will we have a new library? Well, I'm happy to share that day will finally arrive in the fall of this year. Helen finally will have a wholly new $2 million library to replace its current library that's been operating out of a FEMA trailer since the 1970s. The library will have a new teen center, ample space for hundreds of volumes of new books and resources, new computers for learners and job seekers, and a dedicated teen area with quality broadband speed. As you know, Helena Township recently built a state-of-the-art municipal facility, and they generously gifted its vacant building to be the transformed new Kreutz Creek Library. Again, I want to extend my special thanks to all the township officials who have made these synergistic projects happen. This will be a win-win, win-win for township taxpayers and residents, township frontline professionals, and library customers and professionals for decades to come. And so while I have your attention, I also want to share with you the changes that are coming to Martin Library in downtown York and the Carpenter Benford Library in Red Lion. Martin Library will up its game as a hub of learning, entertainment, and connectivity. Our visitors will grow substantially, And as part of our capital projects, the library will open an expanded teen area with digital media labs, a place for hands-on learning for youth, and a community gathering room. In Red Lion, the Cartwright Event for Library will expand and make $2 million in improvements. For the first time, this library will have a teen center and space dedicated for private study and silent reading. And the increased space will add more books and computers for learners and job seekers. And now it's time for me to introduce Susan Nenstiel. Susan is the head librarian at Kreutz Creek Library. She will share with you additional information about the service enhancements coming to the new library. And then after Susan speaks, as Ellen said, we have some planned time for Q&A. Susan.
Thanks, Robert. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad that you are able to join us this evening. I'm very excited about the new space for Kreutz Creek Library. And space is the operative word for our new library. Let's take a look. The main entrance to the new library is located on the east side of the building. Push a button and the doors will open into a spacious vestibule and then into the library, providing easy access for parents whose hands are full with kids and books. When you enter, you will notice lots of space for everyone. A huge circulation and welcome desk is located just beyond the entrance, where our staff will be able to assist you. There's a lounge area with comfortable seating for browsing through and reading the latest magazines and newspapers. More shelves throughout the library mean more books, CDs, and DVDs. There's a variety of tables and seating so that our members and visitors can spread out to work, read, or just to meet with friends. 2 quiet rooms are available for studying or creating and include monitors and whiteboards. There's even going to be a quiet reading room. New to our library is a dedicated teen space where youth will imagine and create what will happen here, inviting speakers or designing programs or holding events that have meaning to them. There will be more shelves and more books, comfortable seating where teens can gather and connect, places to use the Wi-Fi and charge devices, games to pull off the shelf to relax with friends, and there will be a mini makerspace cart with a variety of supplies. All of this creating a welcoming space for teens to hang out. A climate-controlled space for the friends of the Kreutz Creek Library to work in and to prepare for book sales and to store donated items is now included in the library. You will find triple the amount of computers for adults and teens, and even computers for kids in the children's area. Multi-person restrooms and a family restroom, all with changing tables, will now be accessible. A community room for library programs and events will allow members to have access to library materials without disturbing program attendees. There's office space for staff and a work break room for staff and volunteers. You will find a huge children's area with space for more shelves and more books, a variety of seating so that kids can look at books, piece together puzzles or color, a place to play, create, and learn with a Duplo table and pretend play materials such as a puppet theater, a kitchen, and baby dolls. And a place to explore through the rotation of our construction materials and STEAM materials. My favorite are the window seats where parents and kids can snuggle up to read a book. The library will continue to offer an outdoor space. Accessible through a door in the children's area is our fenced-in patio and garden, where we will continue to offer outdoor programs, gardening, and activities. Everyone, library staff, friends of the library, volunteers, donors, and the local community, as I said, everyone is very excited to take part in and witness this exciting time in Kreutz Creek Library's history. Thank you all for your support in making this happen. Now I would like to turn it back over to Robert Lambert to lead us into our question and answer period.
Thank you, Susan. That was a great job. And thank you all again for being here. I would encourage all of you joining us this evening to check out our official groundbreaking video that premiered in March. You can check it out on our website or our YouTube channel. And for updates about the Kreutz Creek Library construction or any of our construction projects, please visit us at campaign.yorklibraries.org. That's campaign.yorklibraries.org. And now we're ready to take your questions. Zach Zimmerman, our facilities manager, is with us this evening. Zach is the man with the master plan. He has been coordinating with Kinsley and Warehouse in all phases of development and construction of our 3 projects. I want to applaud Zach for his engagement and his leadership. And we're also joined by Ben Zimmerman from Kinsley Construction to help us answer any questions. And I need to say that Zach and Ben are not related. So let's open it up to some Q&A. Thank you.
So my job is to look at the question and answer, and oh, here we have one. Thank you. Will there be a grand opening ceremony, and when will that be?
Yes, there will be a grand opening ceremony, and we're planning that as we speak.
I have another question. How much larger is the new library? And I will tell you, I was wondering when I was looking at the plans and Susan was talking, would the old library fit in the children's area? Just to give a little perspective. Zach, Ben, who can answer that question?
I'll gladly answer that. The question was how large is the new library?
Yep.
Roughly, pretty sure it was 8,800 square feet overall. And I am pretty sure that the existing library would fit inside.
Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
I have another question. What age group will my questions are flying so fast, I have to keep track of them. I think that what question will the materials for the maker cart be for? Who are they geared for, Susan?
The cart is going to be located in the teen area. And what we hope to do is to provide materials so that they can come and create, whether it's origami or watercolor painting or colored pencils, just to have some materials to come, create, and relax at the library.
Thank you. I have a comment that the plans look fantastic and they're asking about the new hours and additional staff. I don't know if those decisions have been made yet. Who wants to address that question?
I think we're waiting on closer to the opening to make those decisions. We know what we think we need, but until we get into the space and you live in that space, I think there are going to be tweaks along the way.
Yes, thank you. And we are in discussions about all those, but we're trying to make the best decision. So we're not ready to go to press on those. The We did address the grand opening ceremony. Date yet to be announced, but don't worry, we'll give plenty of notice. So anybody and everybody who would like to join us can do so. There is a comment about the physical move from one library to the other. I'm not sure about that. Zach, is that a question you can help us answer?
Sure. It'll be a combination of some professional services, and obviously volunteers and friends and staff will be largely involved in moving those books. We're very lucky that it's only a few feet away, not miles away. So that really helps out and keeps it really easy, and should be a fun event moving back and forth.
Okay. Thank you. Another question, will the community room be available for rental like Martin Library has rooms? Susan, I'll let you answer that, even though I think I know the answer.
Okay, we're looking toward doing that. We have to investigate, since we never had that opportunity before. This is something totally new to us, and we have to figure out how best to be able to do that. But we would like to make it a welcoming space for all in the community.
Super, thank you. I'm wondering if there's anyone out there frantically typing. I don't get the little dots that indicate that's the case. But I have a question, and it's not even written down. Ben, I'm going to throw this one to you. Have you been using the same crew throughout this library project from start to finish? And how many of them are going to join you and get a new library card and enjoy the fruits of your labors?
That's a great question. Yeah, well, I pretty much have the same crew for the duration of the project.
Mm-hmm.
And I was lucky enough during the reading that we had a few weeks ago out at the farm to refresh my library card from years ago. So
glad to hear it.
Yep.
That's wonderful. Question, is there more shelf space in the new library?
Is that for me?
Susan, or Ben, or Zach, whoever wants to answer. I suspect yes, but I think they're asking, are there going to be more books?
That I tried to make very clear in my presentation, because that was a question that we were asked long before we started this project. And I'm very pleased to say that yes, we'll have more shelves, more items, and I hope everybody will get their library card out and take stacks and stacks home and be very happy about doing so.
Wonderful. I guess, Ben, this question would be for you. Where are you in the construction project? New exterior or roof? I think that maybe they haven't been able to drive by and Google out the window.
It's actually a mix of everything you mentioned. We're currently working on the exterior insulation, what we call ephes, along the north and the east elevations. And I was out there this morning, and the crew's about, I'd say 75% on the new roofing. New metal roof is going down now.
Okay, super, thank you.
You're welcome.
The next question, will the book collection be expanded? I think Susan answered that one. The answer is yes. Another question, will the adult section have a section for classics? Susan, have you gotten into that detail yet?
We are preparing orders for the new space. We're very lucky that our friends are supporting the library by helping to purchase new items, and we will definitely make sure that that need is met. And I would like to comment on Ben's previous answer about the stages of construction. I think that he must have a magic wand, because every day that I go to work, I see something new going on. I see the insulation going up. I see the stucco on the side of the building. I see the new roof getting put on. I have to say, I was shocked the other day to see the walls framed. And because I was there to have those opening pictures taken, I made sure that I stepped in every framed room before I left the building. So thank you, Ben.
You're quite welcome.
This question is not listed, but Susan, I think you're allowed to admit this. Have you danced in each of the rooms yet? Or are you waiting?
I'm going to wait till the walls are up so that it's not quite so public.
Okay.
I did do the Sound of Music spin and in the building, and it's just a fantastic feeling. I think if you asked any staff member at Kreutz Creek, everybody would be bubbling over with enthusiasm for the project and for what's to come.
I agree. Here's a question that indicates that our attendees are sharing that same enthusiasm. The question is, what can the community do to support Kreutz Creek Library right now while the new building is being built?
Well, as you know, we're not open for browsing, but we still have our wonderful collection of new items and old items that can be borrowed. So please feel free to place things on hold or come to the door and check out all the books that you would like to check out. We are accepting donations for the new books to help defray some of the cost for the Friends. And so if you'd like to donate a new book to the library, we have a form that you can pick up. But we just are so anxious to have you come into the new space and just enjoy.
Thank you. I have another question, and I don't know as far as the timeline and the plans or exactly what the person's asking, but has the pandemic influenced any changes in the new building? I suspect safety was already a top protocol beforehand. Zach, do you want to address that?
I think we were mindful of safety. We were looking to make sure there was a lot of open space so people could spread out. They weren't going to be cramped in. I mean, you look at our current library and you go by occupancy protocols, and the maximum occupancy could be 2 people in that building. So their new building will allow them to space out and again, stay safe. And we are installing modern air filtration system to help with that, and again, maintaining and improving the maintenance of the building as well.
Thank you. I, again, don't know if anybody is typing any questions at the moment. Robert, was there something you were just hoping somebody was going to ask you that you had your answer all ready for?
No, there was the question about the grand opening. So I'm looking forward to that. And there'll probably be a mix of grand opening types among the projects. So that'll be exciting. I'm just excited. I'm excited for this, and I'm happy this is happening.
Great. I don't know the answer to this next question. What will be done with the current building, the existing library at the moment? Is that in discussion, or?
I believe the commissioners have plans to use that building for an office space. That may have changed. I know they reached out to me about a year or two ago and took my temperature on some ideas and some suggestions that they had for the building. That may have changed. Again, this was 2 years ago. The township may have some plans for the building as well. So not sure yet.
Okay. I see a comment. I think it's a cue for me. Donate.yorklibraries.org is a great way to support Kreutz Creek Library, old and new. And it's also direct support to the Friends of the Library is always welcome, whether we're building a new building or just dreaming about it. don't have any unanswered questions in my Q&A. Remember, if you think of something that you intended to ask, or if you don't remember what the answer to your question was, contact us through www.yorklibraries.org is a great way to reach out. And then, of course, Susan Nenstiel is accessible, and you can corner her if you can catch her and ask her your questions. She's a busy lady. I like this question. I think I know the answer, but I'll yield to Zach on this. Will there be more parking? How many spots will there be?
There will be more parking. I don't know how many total there will be, but I do know there will be ADA parking spaces directly up front, which is an improvement from what they currently have, as well as parking spaces along the side and in the main lot. I don't know the total number, but it definitely will be more and more accessible parking.
Thank you. Good question. Anybody else have one? How long will it take to move everything from the current library to the new one? I'm not sure. Zach, are you facilitating that?
Susan and I will work together to facilitate that, and we'll probably work with the friends as well. We want it to happen in one day, but you're probably, it's going to take several days. We recently moved the Redland Library, and I want to say that took us roughly about a week, but that involved many trucks moving things, a further distance away. So it'll take a little bit of time, but we want to make sure we get it right before we open up.
I don't know how many of you viewing tonight were aware of when the Coltrader Benfer Library shifted from down at the light up to its current spot where they're about to make it even bigger. They actually had school students in backpacks. They would stand and get loaded and then keep their spot in line and go up the hill and get unloaded. It's not that far. I'm not recommending it, but it was quite picturesque. So Susan, we'll have to put a backpack on you and get a couple of pictures of you running back and forth.
There we go. Somebody had suggested a fire brigade.
That's the approach they used. Yes.
Yes. Instead of buckets, we'll pass books, and they'll get right onto the shelves.
Yep.
As someone had mentioned in comments, when will the new library be open? We're aiming toward the fall. And so once we get through the summer, the new next project will be getting Kreutz Creek moved into its new space. And as Zach said, it will be more than a day, because nobody knows how much stuff is squirreled away in our little space. There really is a lot. I think Zach will attest to that.
Okay.
And right now, someone also asked about the teens. What's going on with the teens right now? How are they living? When we were open pre-COVID, our teens pretty much sat in the children's area at our little table and hung out and worked there together and planned programs and started participating in the Teens Top 10, which is a list of books, and then you vote for your favorite, which then Jennifer turned into, spoiler alert, videos placed on YouTube with teens discussing or sharing and book talking books that they've read. So that project is still going on. And there's a picture of one of our teens talking about the sun is also a star. And that program is off and running. Jennifer's always looking for more teens who would like to participate in that. She also has teens on Discord doing projects, and she's working on a project now on social justice. So even though the library isn't usable from the inside of the building, technology is helping us still connect with the teens and still be able to hold programs. And I will say there are some great programs for teens this summer. So we hope people will come out and enjoy our virtual programs.
Thank you, Susan. I had a question about project updates. I do know that Facebook and your newsletter, Susan, are one ways that people can stay abreast. Simply picking up your holds and asking questions will get you an update. Robert, do we have other meetings like this scheduled closer to, or?
We do. We'll have another community info session for Kreutz Creek. The plan is to have 2 sessions per project.
Okay.
And so we'll be getting information out about when that next session will be. And you can also find out project dates on our website.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Here's another public service announcement. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/York County Libraries PA. And the PA is important because there are other York County libraries, but you want to look at the best York County Libraries YouTube channel. So don't forget the PA at the end of that. I think I'm just about at the time where I'm going to ask for any last questions. If you can get them in while I'm still talking, I will address either Ben or Zach or Robert or Susan. And I'm delighted that you could be with us tonight. Again, I'm Ellen Helfrick, Director of Library Relations, and I am so excited to be part of the inside track and hear what's coming and going. And I learned an awful lot tonight. So I hope that you all did as well. And I appreciate your support in your attending our event tonight.
And I'm going to turn the tables on our audience and ask them what it is that they're most looking forward to in the new Kreutz Creek Library space. You don't have to answer tonight, but when you come to the door to pick up your items, please share your thoughts with our staff or connect through the social media, through our Facebook page, or send an email. And we will be happy to look at your suggestions and thoughts. Just like the classic books, we need a space for classic books. We'll be anxious to hear what you have to say and work our best to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Ben, was there something you were hoping people were going to ask you that you had an answer all ready for?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Do you appreciate when they drive by and blow their horn while you're working?
Absolutely. I actually was going to say that to your previous question when someone asked what they could do to help. Give a honk when they're going down the road.
All right. We'll see what we can do. You heard it right here, everybody. Zach, was there a question you were hoping someone was going to ask that you were dying to answer?
No, I think they asked all the ones that I was hoping they would ask anyway.
Okay. That's wonderful. So, unless I'm missing something else, and unless anyone else has anything else to say, we thank you for joining us at the Kreutz Creek Library information session. There'll be another one of them coming, and we look forward to engaging with you and giving you an update then. And don't forget, give Ben a nice tootie toot when you drive by with the horn. He's looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.